Sucker punch somebody on a sidewalk. Carjacking old lady at a red light. Pull a gun on the owner of a liquor store. You think it's cool, act a fool if you like. Cuss out a cop, spit in his face. Stomp on the flag and light it up. Yeah, you think you're tough. Well, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long for you to find out. I recommend you don't. Try that in a small town. Got a gun that my granddad gave me. They say one day they're gonna round up. Well, that shit might fly in the city. Good luck, try that in a small town. See how far you make it down the road. Around here we take care of our own. You cross that line, it won't take long.
Alrighty.
To find out, I recommend you don't.
Of course, first episode. I haven't gotten the verse up yet. Well, Honky Talkin, or Honky Talkin. Episode 1, or I guess we can go with season 1 for now. I am your host, Jake and Bake, and this is my co-host, Tom,
Hi,
Mr.
I'm
T.
Thomas. Yeah. Ooh.
Not gonna lie, I'm a bit nervous, but this is something I've been excited to do. I do want to go with just a simple Bible verse. I think we can go with the logo. Go to Timothy 4:14 here. Let me open my Bible. I would like to add a discretion. I am using a new International Version Bible, so don't bash me too hard for that, but let's see. Nope. 3. Let's see. Where is it at? All right. Timothy 4:14. Do not neglect your gift, which was given to you through prophecy when the body of elders laid their hands on you. I mean, this kind of goes for everything. If you think about it, it's kind of an all-around universal type verse. This kind of reminds you of your importance and that you are meaningful to the world. Well, we can start with podcast goals. I do have not scripted here. We do have kind of a list just to kind of get us naturally going here. What do you personally want to see in the podcast? Like, what do you want to have introduced, and what do you want here?
Well, I like the the goals of promoting blue collar topics and controversies around country music and mainstream media, and the state of the country as well, because we're in a bit of a pickle.
Of course, I mean, who doesn't know at least a tad bit of the absolute mess we're in? It's
Oh yeah.
it's not ideal for the moment, but I do believe God has a plan, and I do trust him. I do pray that he, in one form or another, kind of digs us out, because I mean, we've gotten ourselves in quite the deal here. The blue collar topics, I mean, there's a few podcasts that I have previously seen. I know I'm going to mention the Joe Rogan podcast. It's not really blue collar, but it does have kind of the more our type views, but mainly the Granger Smith podcast. I don't know if you've seen any of his episodes. It's every Monday. But he does good. He he takes emails from random people and gives feedback with his, his own Christian views and the way he interprets life, and he kind of gives them feedback, kind of like as he says it, kind of like as we're sitting in a truck, all friends, just, hey, I have this, what do you think, type deal. I would like to include stuff like that, but it's, we're going to kind of cover everything. I mean, anything a blue-collar guy like you or I kind of would want to know and that would enjoy listening to. Well, a little bit about myself. I'm from Colorado. Not proud of that name. And I'm sure you're not proud of your where you're from either. But I wouldn't say I'm from one of the worst, but I think Colorado definitely takes off of where you're from. I mean, I'm raised in a small town. I was born here in Colorado. My mom's big into politics. I've been homeschooled since 8th grade. I've been working full-time since I was 12. So, I mean, I may be young, but I think I have an idea or two about how blue-collar life works. Of course, I don't have as much of the hardships as most people do, but I don't know. We'll see. What about you, Tom?
Yeah, I was born in California, born and raised. Not proud of it either. Probably from one of the worst states currently, but born in a pretty decent sized town, and raised by two parents, of course. Raised to support law enforcement, support the correct views, and not get myself into too much trouble.
Yeah, just keep your head on straight and move forward.
Yeah.
Kind of mind your own business, stay out of everyone else's. It's kind of hard for people. I've grown to learn. It's got to be up in your business, and it's annoying. But I guess as you move on, it's something you learn to ignore or defend yourself from, rather. Well, I mean, see, I am 16. I'll be 17 next month. My parents married 20 years. Not any marital problems there, and I'm very thankful for that. God has blessed me with some amazing playing cards, and I intend to play them right. And I think jumping on the podcast at this time would be probably a good idea. I mean, everyone here in the server, Chief Outlaw Records, there's, as far as staff goes, I like everyone. Hunter is an amazing dude. There's some pretty gnarly people in here, I must say, but I think it's a good place to start.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't know. You heard the intro song there. I had Jason Aldean's #1 hit song. Try that in a small town. Of course, mainstream media and CMT shut that down as soon as a liberal decided to complain about, small town, you don't support our left-leaning deals, and of course they had to whine about it. So what does the blue-collar guy like you and I do? We march that song right to #1 for a few weeks straight. I think that was a proud moment. It kind of sheds light on, we are the silent majority. You don't hear from us often, but if you piss us off just right, we'll be here.
Yeah, that's very true.
I don't know. I mean, it's. I am personally proud of it because you hear all these country songs and you hear, that guy's been mainstream for a while. I don't think he's ever been independent as far as a record label goes. But and then you have these independent singers like Tyler Childers and Zach Bryan going after, like, they're supporting Bud Light and their tranny promotion
Yeah.
type deal. And well, obviously, I think Tyler Childers was affected last. Zach Bryan, I think he's probably about over with. Bud Light themselves have. I checked this today, actually. We were at a parade for my mom's campaign. She's running for county commissioner here in the county, Weld County, Colorado. I actually looked up the total loss in the economy for Bud Light, and they lost over $25 billion so far, which is pretty gnarly. But that also sheds light on, hey, we're here. Don't. I mean, literally, go woke, go broke. I mean, what is your side to that? Like, what is your opinion on that? What do you see that as?
I mean, yeah, I heavily agree with what you're saying, and I mean that they are very correct when they say you go woke, you go broke, because Target did it with all their satanic related
yeah, I forgot about that.
clothing. They shut that down real quick. I know some other companies had the same kind of thing happen. And it's we are the silent majority. You are very correct.
Yeah, I mean, I think you may be seeing it here in California, people like, okay, this is enough. Let's stand up. And I think another part of it, your state is losing so much of the Democratic population that, I don't know, it's almost like it's a reoccurring pendulum. Like, for some reason, I believe that California would be one of those states that goes red. And like Texas is on their way to blue very quickly. Arizona already blue. Colorado has been blue for a while, but they were very, very red. Honestly, like Wyoming, that type of deal. Wyoming, they have 500,000 people in their state, but still, we were a lot like them. At least since I can remember, it's been pretty blue. I don't think I haven't been alive in this state with a Republican governor, but overall, the state itself is pretty red. I mean, if you look at the red, blue, purple chart, I don't know what you call that. The only way we're losing is the highly dense areas like Boulder, Denver, the big stuff. But like widespread, Republicans are very, very thick. And I think I've seen posts similar about California. Like, yeah, the only places that really are terrible is like the big cities. I mean, I get you.
LA,
you can, you can tell me. You can shed light on that better than I can. But I tend to think that it would be kind of the same way.
It is, yeah. Most of the counties in northern and central California are red. They always show up red. It's just LA, San Fran, Sacramento. It's those cities that get us on the blue side.
Right. And it's just the high density that just ruins everything.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, what can you do? You can't really move the people. I mean, obviously, I'm sure you vote. I intend to vote in 2024. Speaking of which, I'm sure you know of Ron DeSantis running for governor, or running for president, versus Trump. What do you think? Like, what is your opinion on that whole deal? Who do you personally want to win?
Personally, I lean more towards Trump. I think just because I haven't seen much of what Ron DeSantis has to offer. I haven't done much research on him. All I know is that he's the Florida governor, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, I've heard good things about him, but like I haven't seen his real political side. So I'm a little skeptical on him, but
Right.
I don't know if you know more.
I do. he I don't know if you've heard of his "Don't Say Gay" bill, and it's not as it seems, literally. I'm sure you've heard about that type of deal that triggered a lot of people, but it won. The state voted that in easily. So like there is no sexuality or that type of transgenderism in public schools. I mean, you can't really change the colleges because you're not minors when you're in college.
Yeah.
But when you're literally brainwashing kids in public schools, I think that's not right.
Too far.
Yeah, and honestly, I know a lot of Democrats. Well, I not personally, but I listen to a lot of patriotic Republican talk radio, and a lot of Democrats will call in on them and like, yeah, I don't support this, and you know what? I regret voting for Biden, and Trump has my vote. And I guess I'm going kind of off topic here, but personally, I would prefer Ron DeSantis because I think he is more professional in the way he handles things. Donald Trump is a businessman. I like his attitude, but right now, I don't think that's what we need because so many people just hate him, and it's not going to work. I think despite what I want, he's going to win the primary. I've seen so much hate towards Ron DeSantis because I don't know. People are so stuck with Trump, and I personally know people like that are really far extreme right that honestly are crazy. Like they worship him as like their god or something, and it's terrible.
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. It's not good. And the way the Biden administration has put the economy, I think people that have a brain at least will reflect on the way Trump had the economy, and hopefully enough people with a brain will start voting again. But I think I listened to Ben Shapiro. I know a lot of people don't like him. He has a theory. Most people, there's gonna be a lot of people that don't vote because nobody wants Trump and nobody wants Biden.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's all you can do is pray and spread the truth. I mean, literally, that's all you can do. And I think at this point, the way my mom says it, politics is not a spectator sport anymore, and that's why she's doing what she's doing. She's currently the mayor of her small town. She's termed out this year, so she's going to run for county commissioner in 2024, and we're campaigning already. Her opponent is widely hated, but although she claims to be a Republican, she is a do-nothing placeholder, if you know what I mean. But I don't know. Politics is a hot topic right now. You can go so far into that we could be here all night talking about it. So I want to go back to the country music controversy. Have you heard the song "In Your Love" by Tyler Childers?
I have been told a lot about it, but I've never listened to it personally.
Okay. After this episode, you need to watch it, and we can talk more about it next week. It's pretty rough. I will be honest with you. It is. So I'll give you. I haven't even watched the whole video because it goes to a scene. There's these coal miners, and they get out of the mine. They're all cleaned up. These two guys, they're holding hands in a picnic, and they're, instead of like having a regular beach towel on the ground, the American flag. They're sitting on the American flag, holding hands, and feeding each other. Yeah. So that's where I was like, okay, I'm done. I undownloaded all of his music. I uninstalled all of it, and I unfollowed him. It's like, yeah, I can't do that, man. I love your music, but I cannot do that.
Can't do that.
And Zach Bryan's situation where he basically defended Bud Light. I'm sure you know about that. I personally have not uninstalled his music because it's hard because he wasn't quite supporting it, I don't think. I could be wrong. I don't know. What do you think? Was he supporting it in your mind, or?
Um, no, I definitely agree. I think it's, I don't think he was 100% supporting it, more of
Like, hey, just shut up. I'm going to
like,
use my
yeah,
beer company. This beer will
yeah,
be provided at
exactly.
my concert type deal. That's what I kind of gathered from it.
Yeah. hmm That's what
Um,
I think.
yeah, and I'm still kind of on edge with him. I love his music to death. I mean, there's not much of his songs that I don't like, but damn, it's rough because you got people like that making amazing music. Like Tyler Childers, like a lot of his music is just amazing, but damn. It's like a lot of the blue collar community I know listens to him, like,
Mhm.
especially around me. Not even specifically blue collar or country guys like us. I mean, everyone in general. And then, I don't know. I don't know why they do that. It's annoying,
Yeah.
honestly.
hmm
um, I don't know. Yeah. I know, Kid Rock went ape shit on Bud Light, as well as Travis Tritt.
hmm
There's a Instagram video of Kid Rock absolutely, like, I think didn't he have tannerite or something like under his Bud
I
Light
think
cases that
so.
just exploded it all. Um, I mean, that's one way to do it. I mean, especially if you have money like him, it's like, all right, well, let's make some fun out of this. I'm
hmm
sure if you're a guy like him, you got to have a big stockpile of beer like that.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, I want to ask your opinion on. There's a lot of independent music artists out there, and I want to take Upchurch for example, because I know his side the best. I pay attention to him probably the most because not everyone else is as controversial as him. I don't know if you follow him closely. Do you?
Not closely, but I definitely have listened to a few of his songs, and I know who he is, and I follow him on social media and all that.
Sure. Um, he, I mean, I'll give you an example. There's this, I don't even know what you call it. It's just a group called Redneck Nation that had backstabbed him. And that's where he was founded. Redneck Nation was his, like, all right, I'm starting here. And that's where he kind of took off. And that's how he kickstarted his career in what he does. And very recently, they have backstabbed him and he completely dumped him. And that's like his foundation. So
Yeah. Well.
that's just example. Like, he's that type of independent. He won't take no shit. He won't put up with anything. And I think we need more music artists like him. And I know a lot of people don't like the music he makes, but mindset like him. We need the aggressive. We need the fight worthy. I think that's important for what we're doing, or what we need to have happen in the United States in country music.
hmm
I don't know. It's a crazy world now that I think of it. Just
Oh,
chaotic as all can be.
hmm
So what do you know about CMT? What is your opinion on CMT?
Hmm. I don't know a whole lot about CMT, um, but I've definitely heard of it. That's, oh yeah, country music television.
Yep.
That's right. Um. Oh yeah, that's right. Okay. Yeah, no, I heard that they got. uh,
I know a handful of artists that after CMT
yeah.
kicked Jason Aldean's song off of their list, I guess, whatever you call it. As soon as they kicked him off, a lot of artists pulled their entire music, like all of it, off of CMT. And I think CMT
Dropped them.
owns a majority of country music radio, like FM radio.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, for example, the Bobby Bones Show, the Granger Smith Show, Midnight with Granger Smith. You've got, I mean, all kinds, like across the country, FM radio. And a lot of, I mean, I know Travis Tritt was one of them. I honestly, there's so many. I want to say that I heard that Kane Brown did it. I'm not, don't quote me on that because I'm not sure. Actually, I can look it up right now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another prime example of if you start supporting something that blue collar people and country music supporters and lovers, you know, they end with this, you know, if you support something they don't enjoy, they're going to drop you entirely.
Well, and that's tough because CMT has not been good at all in the past. I'm wanting to say as soon as 2014, 2015 came around, CMT hit the drain. They have not been good at all. I mean, and I know that a lot of the older people, the older country boys, the older blue collar people, they dropped CMT. And I know Sirius XM kind of took over, so FM radio and CMT isn't that widely affected by a lot of people, actually. And like myself, I do have an FM radio in my pickup, but I don't listen to it. I have a Bluetooth transmitter, and that's what I have Spotify Premium, so I listen to my own songs. But I don't know. I think CMT really, they probably made their worst mistake back in the day when they originally kind of went woke, and it wasn't as blunt as a lot of people are doing it nowadays. For example, Bud Light, but they definitely did take a turn, and I think that was right around when Sirius XM kind of came around, and then just now when Jason Aldean was ripped off of it, I think that really hurt him. Well, let's see. I want to go back to kind of all over the place in this episode. It's episode 1, so please forgive us. It's, I'm not going to lie, I was a bit nervous. I'm better now. I'm much more comfortable. We are almost halfway through this segment already. Can you believe that?
Wow.
Let's go back to our life stories. What is a story that you have that isn't obviously too personal, that you would like to share with our audience?
I'm trying to think of a good one here. What specifically do you want me to?
I mean, any story that you'd be happy to share that would kind of explain yourself.
I mean, I guess in general, just generally speaking, not gonna bring up anything specific, but just generally speaking, I've been through a lot as a kid, and whether it's, you know, a lot of happiness, a lot of sadness, loss, that kind of stuff, I've been through a lot. But I'm not one of those people that gets sad or like depressed about what's happened to me. I kind of use it as a strength to keep me going.
Right.
And, you know, I use it as motivation, just, you know, to keep pushing on.
Sure. I mean, I can relate. I've had similar, but I mean, I've known you for, I guess, not quite a year now, but I think we're pretty close in that regard.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure.
You're one of the top people I trust on Discord as a platform itself. I think you and I, we've planned on, you know, doing our own thing with car community type stuff and that sort of deal just in the future, because obviously it's a little too soon to be going that far in life, and I don't know what the future is going to bring me, but a story that I do want to share. my great grandpa, I think starting back in like 2010 when my brother was born, I started going to their house every Monday, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. And I'm not going to forget that, because that particular great grandpa, my dad's grandpa, that side of the family, looking back now, he was way more special than I realized at the time. I'm almost 17 now. He died back in 2013. I was 6 when he died, and I remember a lot about him. I was gifted his truck, my 2001 S10. That was his truck. That was his deal. I think he was 70 at the time. He wouldn't stop working, and he would go around neighborhoods mowing people's lawns for money. He didn't want to stop working, and he was in good health at that time. And then my grandparents come in, well, particularly my great-grandmother and my grandfather, so his son and his wife. They come in and they shut him down because they're afraid he's going to fall. They're afraid he's going to, hurt himself. And I'm sure you can relate to that type of deal.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not sure what I think about this. My dad says the reason his health declined so fast is because they sat him down on the couch and he didn't move. So I can remember when that happened. I was probably about 10. No, let's see. Been 2013, 12. Figure 2012 is when I can kind of remember most of the time I spent with him. It's kind of after they sat him down and like, okay, you need to stop working. He every Monday they lived in Tacoma, Colorado. And there's the Family Dollar out on Main Street. Every morning we'd go out there, box of Oreos, fucking ice cream sandwiches, and microwave pancakes. That was the deal every Monday. And we had breakfast, Oreos, and ice cream sandwiches. Mm-hmm. That's a fond memory I have in that truck itself. I always sat in the bump seat in the extended cab and drive over there, and we were always in the garage. We were always building something. And it wasn't anything useful per se. He had a lot of scrap wood. He had a lot of just tools. He had just everything in that garage. And it was a small garage, and he had everything. And whatever I could get my hands on, he's like, all right, build this. Mm-hmm. And while I was doing my own thing, he would build tin men. He collected tin cans and just anything, and built tin men out of them. I don't know if you've seen that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But he died in 2013. It was so rapid. He ended up having pneumonia because his esophagus wouldn't function properly, so he ended up like inhaling all of his food. So he had I don't remember. It was some sort of aspiration pneumonia, and I don't want to say it wasn't painful for him because they had him on so many pain meds, but I can remember walking into that room and he said goodbye, and I went to the waiting room, and about an hour later everyone comes screaming to the waiting room, and that was rough. But fast forward to now, especially recently, since I've gotten my truck to the house and kind of started working on it, I can reflect back and be like, damn, that meant the world to me. And I didn't know it at the time, because at his funeral, I'm not very emotional. And at his funeral, I was not emotional at all. I don't think I understood exactly what was going on, but I remembered it. And I don't want to say that I regret it, because I didn't know any better, but I certainly do wish he is here today, but he's painless now. He's in paradise, and that's something good to think about. I'll be able to raise hell with him somewhere someday.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, amen to that.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think that story itself kind of shares a lot about me. I think I didn't want to get too
Mm-hmm.
personal about it, but I think it's it's close to me enough, and I'm prideful in it that I'm willing to share it. But I would like to move on to a different topic now that we know a little bit more about ourselves.
Mm-hmm.
What's your dream truck?
Here we go. Um, that's a tough one because there's a lot. I'm in love with new trucks. I'm in love with old trucks. I've currently got a 2000 Chevy Silverado 1500 extended cab. It's 4-wheel drive. It is the most. It's one of my favorite trucks that I've ever driven. It's so much fun. Got the 5.3 V8.
It
I
beats
got
the
so many
hell out of
plans
that
for this thing,
6.4.
dude. It is. I honestly miss that 6.4. It's
You
so
know,
sad. I used to
I
rip that thing all the time.
I hate Fords, but the 6.4 just
Hmm.
sounds amazing. It
Oh yeah.
does.
Hmm. Yeah, but dream truck wise, honestly, like mm, like an OB. I want like a square body Silverado, like something that's like just right. Either an extended cab or a crew cab, just something that I can lift and it'll be reliable, but
Right.
also be fun to drive, take off road, and
Right.
take it through the mud.
Well, maybe be a little bit fast on the street too. You
Mm-hmm.
can't give it
Exactly.
all to the dirt. I mean,
Oh
you
yeah.
can, but you gotta have some speed in there.
Oh yeah. 100%. What about you?
uh well, I do have a very particular truck. 1979 Chevy Square Body Crew Cab Long Bed 4-wheel drive.
Mm,
It's not very rare. It's rare enough that in the right condition they'll go for 6 figures. But I've seen a couple in my area, and I'm eyeballing them. My
mhm.
dad's like, "Don't you do it? Don't you do it?" Because they're so heavy. I'm pretty sure one of these trucks weighs like 9,000 pounds, and
Damn.
a lot of them have 350s in them. I was like, okay, let's find a big block or find a one with a trash motor and put a 12 valve in it.
Mm.
Because I
Mhm.
mean, 12 valve won't care about 9,000 pounds and 38-inch tires.
Mhm.
But that's me. I think that would be cool. Yeah, an NV 5600, 12 valve P pump, compound turbos, like nothing like high performance, but like reliable, usable. Not a work truck, but a nice truck to have.
Yeah, for sure.
Uh, I don't know. That would be fun. I'm just thinking about it, but
Mhm.
uh
Yeah.
let's see. So there is, I've a lot, especially recently in the server, there is a lot of like Christianity, I guess controversy almost. I
Mhm.
wouldn't say it's controversy because religion in itself is controversy. Let's be honest. So many people are non-believers, and I mean at this point haters. But um, let's on a religious note. What do you think that religion has to do with modern society?
I think it's another one of those things that divides people in a way because and I've sadly I've especially seen it with Christianity because I grew up Christian. I went to church all my life. Um is I've seen people forcing it on others, not informing them and you know, letting them find their way and letting God take them on their way. It's I've seen people straight up like forcing their Christian beliefs on other people. Of
Right.
course, it's not everyone. It's definitely not everyone. I'm not,
Well,
targeting Christianity as a whole,
I'll,
but I've seen it.
I'll take, for example, my last relationship. Christianity was forced upon her, and that pushed her to be atheist because it was literally, it was forced so hard that she just like, I can't believe this. It's like, it's not right. I won't go too much into detail on that one, but I tried hard and I failed. But I tried my damnedest and I failed. And I to this day, I beg for forgiveness on that. But you win some and you lose some, and I hate to say it about that type of situation, but it's rough. But there's too many people like that. I know, like old school families, they'll have just a hiccup in parenting, like a divorce, and that type of deal will ruin some childhoods for kids. And that type of stress, along with forcefully pushing Christian views on that kid, I think is unhealthy. I think in the first place, you should find a mate that you're going to marry and you're going to love forever. That's just my advice. You're not here, I mean, don't get me wrong, you're here for a good time, not a long time. But then again, you're supposed to live life to its fullest, and you can't really do that with a bunch of drama in a love relationship like that. But I think in the way I've always thought of raising my kids in the future, this is just going to be another aspect of their life. Christianity is going to be a part of their life. I won't be forcing it on them. It's just going to be another thing. And that's kind of the way my parents have done it. They haven't forced it upon me. I've been to church on probably, I can't even count on both hands how many times I've been to church. And for you people that say, oh, you got to go to church, I want to refer you to Granger Smith's Tailgate Church Pew song. It's a good one. Anyways, that refers to you don't need to be in a church. If you're specifically non-denominational Christian, the Bible is all you need. And, well, let me reverse that. You need God, but the Bible is all you need to find God. You don't need a church. Obviously, a church would be, I'm not saying church is bad, but it's just one of those things that I personally have not been to regularly. And I would like to change that. I would. But as far as my life goes now, it's not something that's going to change because I am busy. And I'm sure a lot of the blue collar type folks are that way. I mean, you don't have time for church. I mean, you're out living life, you're working, you're having fun, you're living life, and that's a good thing. But I think, again, you can't force Christianity upon people or kids, especially kids, because if they get to that age where they're like, okay, no, I have a mind of my own, let's think about this, they're gonna lash back, and it's not gonna be pleasant, as I have personally witnessed. So I think some of you are old enough to be able to take that advice for real, and I know I'm young, but I have seen it in my family alone. For example, my uncle, atheist, and my dad. The reason I am so religious myself, my dad, he used to be Catholic, and as soon as he left my grandparents at 19, he switched to non-denominational Christian, which he just left the Catholic Church, because he saw it as a cult, essentially. And that's what it is, in my opinion. That you can disagree on that. I don't know what you think about it, but I know a lot of people in Chief Outlaw Records alone know Catholicism as a cult, but he left the church, and then my mom was actually atheist when they got married. My dad didn't know that she was atheist until after they were married. And me personally, I was like, come on, Dad, you know better. But obviously hindsight is 2020. And she was open to the idea of, okay, well, let's go to church. Let's open a Bible, teach me. I'm willing to learn. I trust you, that type of situation, right? So he converted my mom to non-denominational Christian, and I have always been raised on that type of view. And that's the way I see it should be. I think it would be easier to find a Christian partner, but if all else fails, I mean, there are a lot of people that have convincing words and convincing tones that that do have the power to do that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I think personally, Christianity is so lost. I guess not lost, but it is lost in the United States specifically. There's so much atheism. For example, take Stephen Hawking. In 2016, he preached God is a myth, is fake, and 2 years later, he's in the ground. And I know that God does not punish those on earth. However, karma is a bitch. And I know I've seen videos of, like, there's, I think, a Brazilian, like a satanic Brazilian festival was completely flooded out. And you cannot tell me that is just coincidence. That is karma.
Yeah.
I know a lot of Christians don't believe in karma, but I have personal beliefs to believe otherwise, or personal experiences to believe otherwise. I don't know about you, but I don't know. I think in a lot, especially recently, I think my buddy Walker he had stumbled across, I don't know if it was Instagram or TikTok that he saw this on, but he stumbled across a short video, and it had, the dude was explaining, like, the tallest mountain is at the North Pole. Have you heard of this?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so, like, Eden's Garden, North Pole. And in that moment alone, it's like, okay, well, if everything fails, like, if absolutely everything is gone to hell in my life, I know where I'm going. I'm going to go find the truth. And I honestly, I did my research in the Bible. I found it. It's all there. Eden's Garden, North Pole type stuff. And the dude had pointed out, like, on globes, to, like, the top, I don't even know what that would be, like, the area of that would be. It's a fair chunk out of the North Pole is just blank. And he'd pointed out, like, historical maps of Eden's Garden and the North Pole, and the mountain is literally dead center on the pole. But there's so many ways you can go out and look at this, and I personally, I'm not a good Christian, and I do aim to change that, but I know a lot of my stuff may sound crazy to some people, but you got to think about it. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? Do I sound crazy?
No, not at all.
I think it's sad that people just, common sense, it's that in itself. I mean, come on, guys. It's open your eyes and look. I mean,
Yeah.
I don't know. It's honestly sad, but you know what? Jesus' return is going to be a good one.
Oh yeah.
Not only that, but I don't personally think, I know a lot of people are afraid, well, I guess not afraid, but they are aware and mindful that their return may be soon, because there are prophecies that are being fulfilled as we speak. For example, the Euphrates River is drying up. Just a bunch of other things that kind of just fall in line. I personally don't believe that it's that close, because people thought the same thing in World War II. Oh, Jesus is coming. The world is gone to hell. He's coming. And as it turns out, no. He's not here yet, but obviously the world has sorted itself out and then dug itself another hole since then.
Yep.
And I honestly, I do blame the United States for the global situation. I mean, I am willing to say that we are probably not the leaders of the world right now.
Yep.
Like in any aspect, I'm pretty sure China's on top of that. But I think Russia, not a chance. They can't take over a Texas-sized country. Either that or this whole thing's a freaking scam. They're taking money from the U.S., which is also very possible, and that wouldn't surprise me one bit. That's another topic we could go into. I won't do that today, but I think with Biden being voted into office, every world leader saw that, oh, there is an idiot in that place, and we can take advantage of every aspect of it. And I was reading something the other day. Biden had signed funding from China for public schools in the United States. Did you see that?
Oh God. Oh no, I didn't.
I didn't read it. I just saw it on. I think it was on Instagram. I think it was the Trumpist dude. I think that was the page that posted that. It said that Biden had signed a funding bill with China for public schools in the United States, which that's scary.
Yeah.
And our public schools are bad as is.
Yeah. Very.
I mean, I live in a fairly conservative area. Northern Colorado is known for conservative views, and let's just say my school district is in the hole right now. Like, I get stories from many people that I won't share because some of it may not be true. A lot of people I don't trust, but I get stories that just blow my mind. Well, I don't know. You're 21 now, right? Or 20?
Almost, yeah. 20.
Okay,
21
so
in March.
you've been graduated for a while. What was the public school situation like when you were, I guess, this high school era?
Well, I never was enlisted in public schools. I always went with charter schools.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah, it's
Well, I guess-
safer. It's a more tight-knit group.
Oh, absolutely.
But the reason why I didn't go to public schools was because all of the ones in my area are terrible.
Sure.
Drugs, fights, like weapons found, that kind of stuff. I don't want to be involved in all that.
It's well, I don't think we're quite to that point yet in this area. I don't want to jinx myself because Lord knows we could have a school shooting here tomorrow because there have been multiple threats. There have been weapons found, a lot of drugs. It's sad because my dad grew up in the same county, same district, and I was in the same school district. And when he was in school, it was 30 years ago. He's old. This 30 years ago, it was, I mean, like I said, Wyoming. Like, just imagine low population, Western country, like that type of deal. He founded the school rodeo association for the school district, and obviously after he left, no one wanted to take it over, so it died. But hearing him reflect on it now, is sad because, I mean, it's not even that long. And I would say that I'm more old school. I'm one to say that my 2001 Chevy S10 is not old at all. That truck is 22 years old.
Yep.
And it's older than me. And I'm like, no, that's not an old truck. No, yeah, it is. And just to think that not too long ago, he was in the same exact schools that I was in, and he does not want me anywhere near it. And me or my brother, for that matter. Especially him, because the middle school is way far worse than the high school. Which I'm sure anyone who is or has been in public school can understand what I just said.
Yep.
Public middle school is got to be the worst thing known to mankind. I personally hated it. It was, I mean, what was it like in a charter school? I guess, did you have middle school, or was it just like all one big school?
It was actually very like separate. There was elementary and then middle and high school.
So what was middle school like
But
for you?
like it was small and it was very different. It was a great group of people, great teachers. It was just a lot of one-on-one, which at the time I didn't like one-on-one because I was a very anxious, nervous
Right.
person.
Well, as most kids that age would be and
Yeah.
are.
Mm-hmm. So it's like I messed up a lot and like was scared to do like one-on-one, and then like couldn't really pay attention because like ADHD and like constantly getting distracted.
Sure.
I couldn't focus, so I couldn't do the homework. And then when it comes to like turning in the work, then it's like half done, and then I get like yelled at and like get bad grades. So it like
Well, yeah.
it was a struggle.
And that's every kid. Come on. I mean, ADD, that ADHD, it's all kind of the same stuff. And I'm one to believe that it is not a genuine disorder. It's more of a mental state, which, I mean, it's still very real, and you can obviously treat it. Some people do treat it, and I don't personally believe in that because at that point, are you just high? That's my personal opinion. But obviously, like ADHD, ADD, that's all real. I don't even know how they put it on a spectrum or anything, but it's a big deal for kids that age. And I think that's the reason high school is so much better. Middle school is constant bashing in your brain. Like, there is almost no peace ever. And then you go to a high school and you're in a football team. You have band classes, marching bands, you're all in formation. You're independent, you get to drive yourself to school. It's just more of a relaxed, less anxious situation. I don't know. I think I personally would love to go to public, or I guess not public, but I would love to go to in-person high school. But I like the money I'm making right now.
Yeah.
Being full-time since 12, that's put me very far ahead in my current situation. We are at 59 minutes. So
Wow.
I think that is probably a good wrap-up point. I know it was kind of all over the place. Guys, forgive us. Episode 1, nerve-wracking. I'll be honest, I was nervous. Am I now? No, I'm definitely less nervous. This is knowing the team that we have at Chief Outlaw Records that can help us, write a list of just things to talk about. I think we'll do fine. I think we've got this. I'm honestly really confident. I think this is a good start. So,
yeah, for sure.
bear with us, guys. We're at a starting point, like everyone once was. Every big podcast once was, or any big thing at all.
Yeah.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. And next Monday, episode 2. I'm honestly excited now. All right.
Mm-hmm. Very.
Talk to you guys later.